Hello there. On Monday, Charles III promised before the British Parliament to take his duties as seriously as his late mother Elizabeth II. But how much power and influence does the new king have in British politics? So much in advance, the crown should be apolitical. This is an important tenet of the British monarchy, and the late Queen Elizabeth II stuck to it for most of her life. Only very rarely did she allow herself to be carried away by political statements. For example, when Scotland voted for independence or on independence from Great Britain. They haven't voted for it yet, but who knows. At the time, she dared only make a small, almost unnoticed statement to someone when waiting in front of Balmoral Castle. She said, "I hope that the Scottish people will think very carefully about the future." The political influence of the crown has been massively reduced in recent centuries and is now limited to symbolism and rituals. Now it's known that the new King Charles III is politically very interested and committed. Environmental protection is particularly close to his heart, and in his role as Prince of Wales, he still had freedom to make his concerns heard at the political level. In the early years of the 2000s, Charles, then heir to the throne, wrote numerous letters to ministers, prime ministers, and other members of the British Parliament. It was about agriculture, global warming, and the social isolation of the population. These letters became a scandal as Charles expressed his views very forcefully and was accused of influencing politicians. As king, he promised in a speech to Parliament that he would continue in the footsteps of his mother, and implied that he would keep his political views to himself. His tasks are clearly defined. He will welcome newly appointed prime ministers into office and open the annual session of Parliament in a lavish ceremony. But he will probably be able to exert the most influence in the weekly meetings with the prime ministers. The Queen once revealed of these sessions, "They tell me what's going on and if they are having problems, and sometimes I can help in some way. You know I'm impartial and it feels good to be something of a sponge." Charles will meet with the new Prime Minister Liz Truss for the first time after the national mourning period. As king, Charles is only allowed to make decisions over the heads of parliament in very exceptional circumstances. This was the case in severe constitutional crisis, as was the case, for example, with the abdication of Edward VIII. The then king caused uncertainty in the country in 1936 as he wanted to marry a divorced woman, Wallis Simpson, who was accused of having ties to Nazi Germany. This was dramatic for the people, politics, and the royal family, and required a change in the constitution. Edward then abdicated as king. George VI, father of Queen Elizabeth, became king, but it's hardly to be expected that King Charles will find himself in such a situation. Charles could still have an impact. In particular, his commitment to environmental protection and organic farming are now deeply rooted in many royals and are likely to have increased during the reign of Charles III. And they will probably in this time gain more importance than they have now. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be there.